Okay, I will put it back to 0 and set an illustration of a number to be added. So here's a clear number, 345. And the important thing for an adult, when you yourself are acquainting yourself with it, that you start to work from left to right with the abacus. You're starting to understand the abacus left to right. When you're working with a young child, you work exactly the opposite way until the child's grasped everything it can that way, and it'll naturally start to work from left to right on its own. So here we have a number, 345, and we're going to add 478. So we simply take a block of 400, and then we're going to add 7 to 40. Well, we can't do that very easily, so we add a block of 100 and we take 30 away. Now we're going to add the 8 onto the number we've got. Okay, we can't add 8 straightforwardly onto there, so we add on 10 and take away 2 from the 8, which is the same effect. This leaves us with 823. So if the abacus is correct and the abacus doesn't lie, we're the only thing that can make a mistake on it. The abacus will virtually never lie. We will reset the abacus and we will set it now to illustrate a subtraction. Obviously the routines you've seen, you'll have to practice more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times. A child might have to do it 20 times. But you will get it right. It's very, very easy once you understand and once you do it properly. If you don't do it properly, you'll never learn to do it. It just becomes a blur. So you follow the simple rules to teach yourself it, getting acquainted with it, using it properly. So I'll set a number, 105, and I want to take away from this number a series of subtractions. And the first subtraction I'm going to make from 105 is 10. I'm not used to using the abacus, so I don't know where to take 10 from, but I can see that that's 100 and that's 100, so I exchange those two things. And then it's fairly simple for me because I remember that these are 10s. And so I simply take away 110. 95, that sounds correct. Then I take away 11. So just the same way, I take away 10 and 1, 11. Then I want to take away 12. In just the same manner, I take away 10, 11, 12. Remember that this is a counter, a child's counter. And the best way to use this and get the child to love it and adore it and keep it is to write the child's name on and give it to him or her at 4 years old. Then we want to take away 13. So we take away another 10, 11, 12. Now what do? We exchange 10 for a block of 10. And then we take the 13th one away. Then we're going to take away 14, so we just do the same movement, take away 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now we're going to take away 15, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're back down to 30. So we take, here's another little exercise to give us a bit of other insight. We exchange 10 for a 10, and then we split it up, and we leave 2 patterns, a 10 and a 5, a 10 and a 5, 2 15s. Go through that exercise a number of times, and you and the child will be perfect in subtraction. Obviously, the next thing you have to do is to learn to practice. And the point of practice you need to think about is that you don't break the 10 for for a time with a child. You just set a number, for example, 345, and then we're going to add something to it. We'll add 233 to it. It's always best just to put the pattern before you close the gap. 233. Of course, when you're in midstream, you've started with a number and you finish with a number. But when you're in midstream and you're counting, you're actually counting these as separate hundreds, these as separate tens, and these are separate singles, and you have to remember that. And we're not used to thinking of these columns and the property of the columns, but in no time at all, a child, even a very young child, soon totally aware of the property of the columns. So I want to come back and I want to get you to understand patterns. Here's a pattern, 222. There's a simple pattern. A child can make the same pattern again, and again, and again, and again. So what are 5 times 222? Simply slide them up and read the answer across the bottom.